This is not how I pictured this going. We have some catching up to do. Hello and welcome back, or if you're new here, you are joining at an unfortunate time. In a previous video on my channel, my How I Made a Navia cosplay video, I briefly touched upon the fact that I had a hard drive crash happen, the data was unrecoverable, and I lost a lot of the cosplay footage, in addition to probably somewhere in the range of 30 to 40 hours of Star Rail content. I was crushed. I was actually distraught is probably the word that I would use, hence the dramatics of this video right now. And I did a lot of thinking about what would be the most reasonable way to make up for everything that was lost. I was really hoping to make this playlist on my channel, the Star Rail Let's Play, something similar to my Genshin Let's Play, where it's the whole story from beginning to end. And when you're missing the ending half of one world and the beginning half of another, it just really is a bummer, isn't it? I considered replaying the whole game, but that would just take so long, and I didn't want to really put this off any further. So I used the Star Rail wiki in my memories, and we have the Fates Atlas here, and I'm going to do a as quick as possible run through of everything that has happened from Phantylia to the family. So here we go. We left off on quite the dramatic cliffhanger. Not planned, with our friendly guide Ting Yun getting her neck snapped by the entity that was impersonating or embodying her, which was Phantylia. We switch back to the Dan Heng, Sushang, and Locha point of view. So Sushang brings us back to the Alchemy Commission, and that's where we split up from her and Locha. We head towards Scale Gorge Waterscape as Dan Heng to regroup with the Astral Express. On our way there, we are greeted with echoes of Vidyadhara past, and they kind of hint that Dan Heng was once an important figure, and they believe that he's returned to take up that mantle again. Dan Heng encounters Kafka and Blade engages him in combat. While they are fighting, Yanqing shows up and tries to break things up, but a blow from Blade reveals Dan Heng's true form, which is Imbibitor Lunae. It's been a minute. Who is a former Vidyadhara elder that was once banished from the Xianzhou. Yanqing decides to then face both Dan Heng and Blade, and I cannot stress enough how much this fight just made me giggle. It was just so very funny watching him try to take them on. Kafka does end up stopping the battle to announce that our great general Jing Yuan has arrived on the scene. He requests a favor from Dan Heng to essentially ignore the fact that he is in exile and not supposed to be here. He leads Dan Heng to the Astral Express crew and Fu Xuan, who are fighting some enemies from the Legion. And after reuniting, Jing Yuan reveals that Kafka had planned this the whole time to force the Xianzhou to cooperate with the Astral Express. We find that Dan Heng's former identity once guarded the Ambrosial Arbor, and given that he can access those memories, he should be able to get us back down there once again so that we can save it from Phantylia. Dan Heng is able to guide us to the roots of the Ambrosial Arbor, where Phantylia is unfortunately waiting for us. She has taken over the power of the Arbor and plans to use it to destroy the Xianzhou. And of course, we enter our big boss battle for this region, and oh my gosh, was it so hard for me at the time. I remember we barely made it out of that fight. I think I had one, maybe two characters standing at the end. It was rough. In the end, Jing Yuan is in Phantylia's clutches, kind of as a decoy though, and he gives Dan Heng the green light to give the finishing blow. Phantylia poofs into a little spirit, and Jing Yuan kind of swats her off, and she gives us one evil last laugh on her way out, which is not at all concerning, and I'm sure totally fine. We then make our way around the Xianzhou, giving everyone our last goodbyes, and we send off Ting Yun's memory with a soul-soothing ceremony, which is a funeral on the Xianzhou. Jing Yuan promises us allyship in the future as a thank you for what we've done for them, and we get to witness an interesting cutscene between Jing Yuan, Jing Liu, and Locha. Jing Yuan implies that Locha is the one that brought the Stellaron on board the ship and must be an enemy as he gets his power from the abundance. However, Jing Liu steps in and says, no, we're all on the same side here, we're all against the abundance, and Jing Yuan, if you're going to be a hindrance, please get out of the way. And our time at the Xianzhou ends there. Himiko lets us know that we have received an invitation to a little party on Penacony. As we prepare to take off for Penacony, Pom Pom warns us that the memory zone can be a tricky place. You might experience some hallucinations, stuff like that, beyond our best behavior, and Pom Pom asks that we try to find out any information we can about any nameless that once chose to stay behind on Penacony and make it their permanent home. Once we start the warp, we kind of descend into this dream/vision state where we meet this woman who uses a lot of red text when she talks to us. She calls herself Acheron. She says she's a galaxy ranger, and we explore the dream world together before engaging in a very chilling conversation where she tells us that she feels that she's met us before. In fact, several versions of us before. She gives us a very vague, haunting warning before taking us out, which results in a very sudden waking up. We then head to the hotel front desk to check in, and because of some extra passengers, the hotel has a little issue getting us our rooms, and it causes a bit of a disturbance among all the other people trying to check in, namely Aventurine of the Interastral Peace Corporation, the IPC. With some smooth talking from Himiko and the grace of Sunday and Robin, two of the family of Penacony, things are resolved and we are all set to go to our rooms. The name The Watchmaker also gets dropped during this conversation. We get our Dreamscape pass so that we can enter the dream world that Penacony is so renowned for, and we head to our room so that we can dream. Aventurine is in here and he has a very, very spooky conversation with us. He knows that we carry a Stellaron. He tries to start to offer us something in kind of a vaguely threatening way before being cut off by Acheron, who claims the room is hers. Once he leaves, she later clarifies that she saw him come in here and that's why she came to rescue us. She doesn't actually think the room is hers, though she is using a lot of red sentences again and seems to be a little confused in general. Nonetheless, we are safe, and as we lay down to dream a dream, Dr. Ratio and Aventurine are elsewhere discussing Acheron. Their relationship seems a little bit tense, and they discuss needing to acquire as many friends as possible in Penacony. When we first enter the dreamscape, it's a little bit spooky looking. Someone named Misha gets our attention and leads us through the maintenance area, as it's referred to the actual dreamscape, the Golden Hour dreamscape, where Robin and Sunday welcome us and assure us that everything is just fine, which is always super reassuring. Our first stop in the dreamscape is a department store selling dream bubbles, which are these little experiences you get to have. We get a dream of Machiavelli on trial with Pom Pom for numerous mischievous activities committed while being a nameless, of which we plead guilty to all of. We wake up and continue to wander around the dreamscape before we stumble upon an angry mob, which seems to be chasing down a young girl. Gallagher of the Bloodhound family comes to her rescue, and the angry mob accuses her of being a stowaway, but he dismisses them. She clarifies to us that her name is Firefly. She is a performer in the dreamscape, and she's definitely not a stowaway. She's definitely a local. Firefly offers us a tour of the dreamscape, which at the end she reveals that she took us on such a long tour because we've had someone following us the entire time, who turns out to be none other than Sampo. Sampo offers to take us to the adult side of Penacony, where we get sucked into a TV, complete a maze to obtain some objects that he needs, and go back to the department store. The materials are used for a new dream bubble, where we are in a Bellabog-like city populated with trash cans, and we are tasked with defeating the Garbage King. But right before we can defeat the Garbage King, we are awoken by Firefly. Sampo seems a little bit irritated with this, and he mentions that he wants us to see the truth. Then he kind of starts questioning Firefly's origins. He mentions that she's a local, but she doesn't really seem to know how things work around here, and is just in general a bit suspicious. And after this conversation, we notice that Firefly has disappeared. We finally find her, and she reveals that she's not a local, and she has reasons for hiding things, so come with her to her secret base where she will reveal all. On our way, we run into Clocky, not the statue, an actual walking, talking Clocky, the cartoon mascot of Penacony. He asks us to help Misha, and although Firefly can't see Clocky at all, only we can, we go to Misha's aid anyway. Misha and Acheron are both surrounded by gang members, and we use clockwork, which is the power to manipulate emotions on the gang boss, and the gang departs after a sudden change in heart. We speak to Misha and Acheron, and the conversation reveals that Misha can see Clocky too, and while Acheron can't, she can definitely sense that there's a presence there. Acheron also mentions that she met a memo keeper of the Garden of Recollection earlier after our last encounter. So we continue our journey with Firefly, and while we're journeying, we witness a scene between an unnamed girl and Aventurine. She is pretty mean to him in this conversation, kind of berates him the whole time, and ends the conversation by telling him that the Masked Fools would never join the IPC. So still no friends for Aventurine. We finally reach the edge of Golden Hour with Firefly. She reveals to us that her hometown was destroyed a long time ago, and she became a refugee in Penacony, which is why she's not technically a local, but she thinks of it as her home anyway. She also suffers from entropy loss syndrome, which seems to be a slowing down of both the mind and body, but in the dreamscape she can function as she would before her sickness. She also tells us that she is seeking the Watchmaker's legacy and would like to stay friends with us despite this. And then we receive a message from the Express saying that it's time to regroup and head back. On our way back, we encounter Sampo once again, who continues to warn us about Firefly, and after a little bit of conversation reveals that they are not Sampo, but in fact Sparkle of the Masked Fools. We are attacked, and when trying to return to reality, we wake up somewhere else. Firefly is with us, and we search for an exit together, all while hearing a voice addressing a Mikhail. While trying to find the exit, we are attacked by a Memory Zone monster. During the battle, a memo keeper named Black Swan shows up and rescues us and pulls us back to reality. Black Swan brings us without Firefly back to the Astral Express crew, and she also tells us that the dreamscape is slowly collapsing. She asks for our help resolving the crisis, and Walt also shows us a message from Silverwolf, who mentions that we will likely meet Sam in our journey and provide some coordinates to where we could find some helpful information about this collapsing dreamscape. We agree to Black Swan's request and enter the true dreamscape coordinates provided by Silverwolf. Black Swan accompanies us, and we run into Acheron there. She's already familiar with Black Swan. She was the memo keeper that she mentioned to us previously, and we decide to team up with her as well. Since we had been separated from Himiko and March upon entering this dreamscape, we head to the lobby to try and reunite with them, but Black Swan notes that someone else is in the lobby already. We hear Firefly's voice kind of sad, and upon entering the lobby see her in the distance. While running up to reunite with her, the Memory Zone monster we previously encountered reappears. It pierces through Firefly, and both her and the monster disappear. Black Swan goes to check on Himiko and March, and when she returns, she brings a message. They have asked Black Swan to bring us to the Clocky statue in the dreamscape to regroup with them. We begin navigating towards that and start to find some charred remains of remembrances along the way. We also find a burned carcass, which is still extremely hot to the touch. Continuing on, we encounter traces of echoes/visions left by Firefly. She's talking kind of nervously and as if there's someone with her. Follow the path that these echoes have left behind, and it leads us to Sam of the Stellaron Hunters. Sam recognizes that we are with a Galaxy Ranger and a Memo Keeper. We engage in combat, and Black Swan transports us elsewhere, reuniting us with none other than Aventurine. Black Swan implies that Aventurine kind of set us up to be brought directly to him. He tells us that Acheron is actually an emanator who is basically an enforcer of the will of an eon. He goes on to tell us that she slayed the Annihilation Gang under Ifrit, who are a gang that followed the destruction. Aventurine invites us to partner with him to see the truth that could overturn Penacony, and eventually we agree. At this point, a cutscene plays showing Sunday and Robin. Sunday informs Robin that 2 murders have happened in Penacony: Firefly's and Robin's. Sparkle once again reveals her disguise, and Sunday is pretty ticked off. He speaks to her about how the time will come for him to exact his justice and that the family has a plan. Once back with Aventurine, he brings us to show Robin's body, and he tells us that her death is very real and the family will have no issue covering it up. He asks about the IPC and the Astral Express teaming up and tells us to talk it over with the crew before leaving himself. We are led out of the dreamscape by Black Swan and to the Clocky statue to regroup with the crew. We then cut to Acheron and Sam, who have paused their fight. There is a flashback to Acheron's slaying of Ifrit's gang. During this vision, he claims that she is a follower of the hunt, but towards the end of the vision, she says that she does not follow the hunt. Acheron and Sam then resume conversation, and he mentions that the only instruction he has from Elio is to get the entire Astral Express crew to search after the Watchmaker's legacy. After regrouping with the Astral Express, we agree to cooperate with Aventurine. We've also been tasked to look into the murders. Welt splits off from the group at this point and meets with Acheron, and Acheron agrees to tell him everything that she knows about the family and Penacony. Meanwhile, Black Swan is working on recovering memories from the Penacony invitation that was sent to the Annihilation Gang that Acheron took out. And finally, we switch to Aventurine's point of view. He has decided to accept an invitation from the Oak family head. And that is where we will start off today. I do just want to say thank you for sitting through that. It brings my heart peace to know that the story is in this playlist somewhere. Again, very unfortunate, but the show must go on.
Hey, you two! That's a place of business. No intrigue.
So aggressive.
I was requested by Mr. Sunday to bring him the suspect. My name is Ratio. He should have mentioned it to you.
Oh, I remember you. Veritas Ratio. Your punch virtual particle clock is impressive.
Okay, good.
Excuse me?
The one on your head. Of course, it's nothing compared to my full pocket dimensional annihilating power armor of the Mobile Knights.
Right. And as I mentioned, that fantasy raiment of yours doesn't exist.
That's because you can't see it. Like I say, only family can see the glory of the
Sure.
Mobile Knights. Enough. Get going. Don't keep Mr. Sunday waiting.
It seems like the idiocy index here.
Oh my gosh, this is brutal.
Is out there.
A dead end?
The door is shut tight. Looks like we're on our own.
I mean, there isn't a door. How did you get in before?
For security reasons, the family built the administrative site deep in the dreamscape, with the mechanisms hidden in these Nightingale statues. The direction of the statues can be controlled.
Hint, hint.
On a previous occasion, an attendant named Kona had gone to the side room to verify something before setting the statues in
Hint,
the correct
hint.
positions.
Let's go and take a look. We can also use brute force.
It's just a picture.
6 nightingales facing in different directions. An obvious hint.
Hint, hint. Alright, so it's forward, right, left, right, forward, forward.
How can nightingales be so huge? They look more like
Oh my
tornadoes
gosh.
to me.
There are no eagles in the 5 families, only nightingales.
My last 2 brain cells.
Why am I wasting time with you on this?
Oh, thank goodness. I thought it was going to make us remember what that picture looked like, and I was like, ah. Nice. Okay, there we
Just as
go.
I thought. There's the correct answer.
A truly miraculous discovery. Perhaps I should offer you
thank
the
you.
chance to join the Genius Society.
Really? Well, I thought you'd given up on that already.
I was being sarcastic. Can't you tell? Hold on.
Huh? What's wrong? Are we heading the wrong way?
No, but this door is locked.
Another
My
locked door.
friend, did you really make an appointment with him?
It's
Doubt.
a trial. You got to prove your worth to Sunday before you can speak with him. If I'm not wrong, we need to find a way to open this door in the hall, or this place will be our prison.
Oh, an escape room. My favorite.
Get serious. I've no time for games. Let's head back. The hint is probably in that prominent sandpit.
Oh, look. There's a noticeable gap in the model. I believe you're right.
There wasn't a gap before. That man must have done it intentionally.
Well, with your brilliant mind, you shouldn't have any trouble recalling what was here last time. Right, Doctor?
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Let's look around. When I see it, I will know it.
Sure.
Fine. Fine. Why do I feel that we're pursuing a degree in burglary now?
Oh, that's so sad. It's Robin. Rip.
A surprising win.
need to get that. So we need some bubbles, I think. I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this. This is crazy. Oh, that was a trippy one.
Huh. And the nameplate reads Gulliver's Arch. Well, I'm amazed you can remember something this tiny. You know, this reminds me of a tunnel I once saw that could shrink people who passed through it.
You don't
If
say.
I were you, I would shut my mouth. It's wise to remain silent.
My gosh.
You should.
He's so mean.
Oh, this reminds me of one of those building toys. You know, with the blocks. I've never played with them before.
Sounds like someone who's
If
played
it's
with them
more
before.
interesting than stacking chips. Oh, look. The gap is closed. And it fits perfectly.
Let me in. I'm so small.
Oh, good heavens. Did I shrink?
Indeed.
I think we could make this work for us. Just find a way to slip me into Sunday's collar, and I'll infiltrate the family just like that. Oh, fine. I was just kidding. Let's find a way to open the door.
Alright, let's go. No. Stop making the jigsaw fragments go so far away. Oh, is this guy good? Hot, hot, hot. Are these guys okay? I feel like they're not okay. Man, walk into the stairs if you need help.
Hello! Welcome to the Golden Hour base model. I am an Oak Soldier. I will be here to guide you through the tour of the base model. Hello!
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the Golden Hour base model.
Oh my gosh.
Generating guide. Found the nearest check-in spot. Please look behind me. A capsule machine model. Ah!
Oh? After screaming, the soldier collapses. He didn't even have time to earn a 5-star rating from you.
What's up with that? Now the family's toys are trying to frame me? I didn't do a thing to it, Doc. You've got to be my witness. Oh, capsule machine. There's no mechanism on the floor. Could there be one at the top? Doctor, do me a favor.
My gosh. The giant hands. Did we win? Did we win?
So, I was right. These models have interiors that look exact. Oh, one of the fragments flew upstairs. I'll need to use the pinball machine to flick myself up there. But it's tough. Oh, great. There's another pinball machine base here. And it's empty too.
The pinball machine must be hidden somewhere in the hall. Finally.
Oh, we're big again.
Of peace. That's it. Pleasant moments of solitude are always fleeting.
Oh, you're back. Just place it here. Thank you.
These cutscenes are funny.
Thanks, Doc.
Nice. Whew. I feel like that would make me so dizzy.
Honestly, you could easily squash me with just a pinch. All done. Piece of cake.
Right, I'm finally back with all the puzzle pieces.
And the joyous tour of Toy City has come to an end. Makes me feel sad.
Aw.
It's a pity you made it out of the sandpit alive. Sunday is just beyond this door. From my limited understanding, he's not someone easily handled.
Yeah. Only I believe he's the one who
Oh
should be
boy.
prepared to face me.
Okay.
Tell me about your plan.
I don't have a plan. I'll
Oh,
just
wow.
play it by ear. There are only two kinds of bargaining chips when dealing with people. Benefit or fear. We've got to make good use of death. That man's sister is dead. He won't be able to turn a blind eye, and that's fear. And I'll help him find the murderer. He can't do it due to his status and position, but I can. And that's benefit.
On what basis do you believe he's incapable, necessitating the delegation to someone from a rival faction? The IPC.
Simple. Because that murderer could very well be a traitor hiding inside the family.
Interesting.
Do you mean the Galaxy Ranger whom you accused previously?
That was just an excuse, good doctor. There's something wrong with that woman. We need someone who can keep her in check. Moreover, I need to know her identity. If I'm lucky. She could be an important pawn. The murder case is likely unrelated to her. I believe my standpoint. There's a rat in the family. Otherwise, why would Mr. Sunday arrange a private meeting with us? This isn't an interrogation, but a secret negotiation. We'll see. Using Robin's death as a bargaining chip, I'll win back my freedom and power. In the end, I'll ruin this beautiful dream and create the grandest death.
Okay.
If the chance of winning is
Let's
just
calm
beyond
down a
this
little
door,
bit.
even if that chance is close to zero, well, you can't win if you don't play, right? 3 chips are enough. All or nothing.
Ah. All right, well, we will wrap up there for today, and next time we will meet with Sunday face to face and see what's going on here. Again, thank you so much for letting me tell the tale of Honkai Star Rail. I am really disappointed that it couldn't be what I hoped it would be, but from here on out, hopefully things go smoothly. So thank you so much. I hope you had fun, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.